Alright, what I've done is I've made a plate. It's just an aluminium plate, just to cover up all this. Hello. This time on CrashTestDummyTV. Alright, now what I've done is I've done an alloy radio. Alright, last thing to make all this pretty with my seat, I made an aluminium cover. Now I've put some tape underneath just because I don't want it to scratch the frame, because no doubt when it's sitting there it'll be wobbling away, roughly. Well, it won't be, but you know, there might be some movement. A couple of nicks on the frame already, but whatever. Too many ums. Yes, so I have, as you can see, squashed all of the electrics up underneath. Pretty much everything you need to run a bike. You've got your flasher indicator, which I've got to change because it's got a bend in it. Got my indicators and brake light all wired out of here. Ignition, and yeah, everything's in there that you need. That basically you need to relocate. The battery I'm putting in that box, so that's why I'm able to put it in. Well, that's inch and a half space, and that's about it. So one way to make it slender, but I wanted to put this up underneath just to neaten it up totally. Then it sits down on that, gets on there, which holds all that down. Where am I? One of those. Pins in first, bolt it down, job done. Have to still do those pins yet. Yeah, I've got to somehow make that move up on the head. Somehow. It's clamping down on it, so it's not allowing it to pivot. Groovy. It's looking alright. But that's basically done. Now there is a bag I have mentioned. Something kind of, you know, it's going to go there, leave about that much gap. So you can see the little brass butterflies, you can see the springs, and you can see straight through. Coming up okay. Kind of glad I painted that though. I was starting to get sick of the alloy colour. Now the way I made the alloy plate, obviously piece of cardboard first. I allowed for the just to countersink itself down past these points, just because it's basically steel on steel, so I wanted to go in that lower gap. It goes past, I think it goes up to about this point. Obviously allowed for the 3 holes to bolt down and 2 on the back. Now the way I got these bends is I put tape, or a couple of layers of tape, on the frame, and then with a very small hammer just, you know, tapped it down to get those bends, and then in the end with a big hammer, but lightly tapping just for the weight, just to overall give it a nice good thing, good curve. Also I did use spray putty just to iron out any wrinkles as far as pound marks, that sort of thing. But yeah, a couple of brackets, flat plate, bit of steel. The only thing I bought for this entire thing were the springs. Everything, oh, you know, the tech screws I had to buy. but that's it. Apart from the springs and tech screws. Those brass butterflies I got picked up somewhere free. That bracket there is off a baby pram. I don't know what it was. It was an attachment of sorts, so you know, a bit that you don't necessarily need. And everything else is bits of steel and that were lying around. Groovy. Cool bananas. Now all I've got to do is get that to Alan and get him to cover it. And then that area's done. I was down at a friend's place before, and I was eyeing off his pipe bender. I'm going to get that just a little bit more curved, but add a new pipe. So there's something there. I don't want a straight line in it, I just want a gradual curve. Give it the old look. I'll probably just chop the head off and weld the head onto the new pipe. That might be easier. Groovy. Thanks for watching. Oh, everyone's out on their toys and I don't have any going. Right, safe out there. Make me jealous. Get out there. Just do it. Bye.